talk about breasts.
Let's talk about you and me.
Let's talk about all the good things
and all the bad things.
Welcome to episode 26 of Boob 2 Podcast. I am Chantel and
I'm your best friend, Jaleesa.
Thank you for joining us. Last week we discussed all things breasts, of course, but the different ways and different names we call them. And as we are in NFL season, we can all remember a boob oopsie. And so today we're going to take a deep dive into that and how we can prevent that from happening. First, let's take it to the streets. Have you ever had a nip slip?
What is that?
When like your breasts are exposed accidentally due to an apparel malfunction or...
Oh no.
Okay. Good. Have you ever had a nip slip?
Yes.
Explain.
Yes. I mean, I breastfed. So, like, you know, my son's reaching for me or I'm jumping up
Okay.
or something. Yes.
In public?
Yes, in public.
Okay. What did you do?
Just, oops, you know.
Okay. Were you embarrassed?
Yes. No, honestly.
That's good.
Yeah, because I'm just like, whatever, it is what it is. It happens.
Okay.
Have you ever had a nip slip? Like, has your nip came out or something?
When I was little, yeah, it was so embarrassing actually when I went to Splash Town. I was wearing like it was a one piece. I was probably like 8 or 9 years old and I was like in the surfing area and I fell out and I didn't even notice until this lady was like pointing at me and I looked down and I was so embarrassed and I pulled it up and I walked away and I started crying towards my sister.
I would have cried too. Dang, traumatic.
Yes.
Do you think it is nudity if the nipples and areolas are covered? You know how like in the media they'll cover the breast, the nipples or the areolas. Do you think it's still considered nudity? No. Okay.
Do you think it's nudity if the nipples and the areolas are covered? You know how they wear like the little thing?
Oh, the little titty tape and all that stuff like
you
that.
You think that's still nudity?
No, not really. I mean, I feel like it's a new adventure for y'all, if anything. So, you know, I'm not against it. You know, it's how y'all get around. Y'all can finesse outfits and stuff now. So, y'all would look crazy with wearing bras all day. So, you know. I get it.
I like that perspective. So, no, we had the Splash Town nip slip. Yeah. You know, that was a traumatic experience for her. She might not have been that developed at that age.
Or at all.
But you know.
Guess you're still particular about that area.
Traumatic nonetheless. You know, sorry about that. Happens.
At least she was aware of it at that age, so yeah.
I like that the guy had the appreciation for talking about y'all can finesse more outfits. That's a good way of thinking of it.
Yeah, always that male perspective.
Yeah,
coming into play.
That's why we need it. That's why we coming for y'all.
Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily call the mom who was nursing like having a nip slip. I wouldn't necessarily call that, but she went on about her business. So
yeah. And then they're saying, like, no one thinks it's really, like, nudity or whatever if you have the nipple and areola covered. For me personally, it's still a lot for myself to be, like...
Still out there?
Yeah. I mean, because you're seeing the shaping and the size.
I wonder if it's, like, piece by piece. Like, if the nipple is showing, is that nudity? But not the rest of the breast? It's the area... Like,
yeah, what if you had, like, a cover, but it's a cutout for the nipple? Like, is that still nudity?
Oh no, we're gonna try it. Well, not me, try that for you, but we can get somebody really I try to post it and see what Facebook or Instagram will do.
Gonna have me shut down.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to see why that would be significant. I guess maybe just for some freaky stuff, or for like maybe people need nipple covers, but then people are into nipple showing, so they just got this cutout. I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting. But whatever it is, you know, nip slips happen, but they don't have to happen.
Remember, I don't know if I mentioned it on the episode. I think I did, but it was early on. A lady had mentioned how she grew up in, I think, the UK somewhere, and how there used to be a cream that people would use for their nipples to make them erect and show them, but now times have changed over to hide the nipple.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I don't want my nipples to show and stuff. So, you know, changing times.
Yeah. Don't have them nipples showing. Not even through clothes. All right. Do you remember where you were? 2004 Super Bowl?
In the living room, watching, especially because my brother, he was a volunteer at the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
So he was there firsthand seeing
Everything.
Janet's nipple.
I was in college. It was a semi Super Bowl party, and it's one of those. Yeah, you just never forget. Like, did I see that? I remember one of the guys was like, "Is that Janet's titty?"
Because it was like, "Bet I have you naked," but into this song, I think that was a song, and it was just like, and I was like, "Was that intentional?"
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, back in the day, I don't know how clever it was. It probably was still, you can like manipulate images, but there is an image out there of like her having a star on her nipple, going back to maybe that. So, like, did she want that seen? Did they want to not see? Because why would you walk around with a star and not want it seen?
I personally don't remember the star.
I know I don't remember seeing it in that, but there's an image floating around out there, like someone took a picture of it really quick. But again, I don't know if that was manipulated to. You could put that on there. I don't know. But.
Right. Probably so. It's 2023.
Yeah.
But I think I just saw bare boob that day.
Very quickly.
In the living room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever experienced a nip slip or something close to it?
I have not. And if I did come close, again, sometimes I just block out stuff. It would have been that tube top swimsuit. If anything, it would have that probably would have been the closest I've come to.
I see the triggeration.
Yeah, just
coming up.
It. Because I didn't want to be in that thing anyway, but that was the only thing that would fit.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. What about you?
Nah, mine have been nice and tucked away. I can't think of any nip slips. If anything ever happened while I was swimming, it wasn't to where someone could see it.
Yeah.
Probably it's like underwater.
Yeah. Good. All right. And then how do you safeguard yourself from nip slips?
I stay uplifted.
Good point.
Yes, I keep myself covered up. I don't know. It's just never really been an issue.
I don't wear outfits that would cause for a nip slip.
Oh, I could think of one. Maybe it was kind of a nip slip when I was in Phoenix with some of my line sisters, and we took some pictures, and we had a crop top. But earlier that day, I went hot balloon air riding, and I had on my regular bra, and I intended to change into my sports bra for when we went hiking. So we set up the camera to take our picture with a timer, and we're taking pictures like this. And one of my line sisters came back and was like, "I see your whole areola." Oh my God, I forgot to switch bras, and I had on a sheer bra.
Okay.
And then when I saw the picture, I was like, "That's not even the whole areola."
There's more to it.
She said, "Well, it was a lot of areola." Yeah, I know, just not all of it.
Yeah.
So I have that picture posing where I'm just like that. It was like.
So you were in a bra.
Yes, it was just sheer.
Just no top on.
I had on a top. It was just a crop top. So when I raised my shirt, when I went like this, it sat on top, and then it was just boom.
Okay.
It's like, oh man, got to change bras. Sorry.
There you have it, folks.
Yeah, that's as nip slip as it has gotten for me.
Yeah.
Luckily, we didn't ask anyone to take our pictures, and no one was around because they would be like, we'd be like, what? What's happening? I did not feel the breeze at all. Well,
all right.
So we talked about some nip slips and everything, and in order to carry on with that conversation and get more insight from a different angle, we have invited a guest to speak with us about how you can safeguard your nip slips. So let's see what our guest had to say.
Welcome, everyone. We have Angela joining us with Honeycloudz, founder and CEO of Honeycloudz. We're going to continue this conversation of nip slips and how not to do that with Honeycloudz. Welcome, Angela.
Yes. Hi, ladies. Yeah. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Thanks for joining, for sure.
Yes. So, this is a big topic apparently, especially, we've had some scenes in the past that we can never get out of our head from the NFL season one year, but it's probably been an issue before then. But tell us how Honeycloudz came to be.
Yeah, sure. So my background's in swimwear actually, and I was working as a swimwear designer for many years, and also studying textiles. And while in swimwear and just being a female myself, I wanted to wear inserts for nipple coverage and some shaping, and like a lot of us do in swimwear and in other garments, I had the problem of the shifting, flipping, bunching inserts, basically. And I started searching to see if I could find something better out there, the classic entrepreneur story. And my brain just works that I always like want to, improve things or find a way to make something better. And so a couple of years ago, I just started on that journey. From fitting women, and everybody, it was like a universal problem, and it was actually around the world, like anywhere where women wear inserts. I have spoke with and met, and women would light up and would talk about it, of how they were maddening, horrible. So many women would discard them, and they end up like in this odd pile, like in their drawer. They have a collection. Women would share their collections, and it became almost like a bonding experience about how awful they were. And I did the classic search of why is this, how long have they existed? And now it's been about 25 years. And I am just like, why is there only these flimsy pieces of foam that usually don't even cover most women enough? They end up in an odd shape, like a visible line that you'll be out and about, or happen to ourselves, where you have this horrible line, a bunched ball, like in something you're wearing. And just the refixing of them that drove women crazy. And so I basically decided that I don't know, something inside of me just thought like, okay, nothing's out there. I bought everything you can buy. I looked in high-end swimwear, high-end sports bras. They still had, if they had inserts, they were still the really cheap, flimsy, standard run-of-the-mill inserts. So I told my husband one day, and I'll never forget, and I just said, I brought all these inserts on a bed, and I'm up there, and I'm like, I'm gonna figure this out. And if for all women, I just said, I first of all want better inserts, and I'm like, I know I'm not alone. There are so many women that wear them that would like an insert that works. And I also met a lot of women that didn't wear inserts because they were so horrible. They would wear them, but they just decided to forego them because they were just so awful. And so so I came up with the idea. I started making drawings and figuring out like what could work, like knowing my textile background. And then that's when I kind of started developing like this grippy exterior that's patented now to grip to fabrics that it would go into any kind of garments without having anything. One of the issues too, at least for me, was like I didn't want anything sticky touching me or sliding off with sweat. And so I decided that I was going to put the exterior, it's a medical grade silicone on the outside, so that so that nothing sticky would be touching breasts, and they would adhere inside swimsuits, sports bras, dresses, and regular bras. And I just kind of took it from there. And I also wanted to create better sizing. I basically took this product and I was like, I'm going to solve a lot of the issues that have existed. So besides the bunching problem, it was the lack of skin tones. When I was looking, I'm like, why is there like, it's usually, and most of us know, it's like, there was like one random nude, and then maybe white, which doesn't work for most stuff and it shows through more, and black, which black's a pretty good one, but it depends on what you're wearing, if it's something light colored, and also our skin tones. So I early on, it was like right when I was starting the company, like those were the things that I wanted to do. And initial feedback that I got was like, oh, no, just do like 1 or 2 skin tones, that's good. And I'm like, no, like that's what everybody's doing. And like, I just felt like with a lot of parts of the industry is that at our core, like we all want to feel included. And I just thought like, why, I want to make them undetectable, because inserts are something that they're kind of like the behind the scenes makers, they're the there are little heroes underneath, and I wanted them, by matching skin tones better and making them seamless, there's no like stitching which could be uncomfortable, and show, they it makes them more undetectable, and by the closer they are to skin tones, especially when we wear lighter colors. And so I kind of took all that into account, and also the sizing. I did extended sizing as well. And that is definitely a part of Honeycloudz, will always be, because I want women to be able to come to us and know that they're going to get a quality insert, but also that we're representing more women. And both, even though it's an accessory or it's something that's behind the scenes, I still feel like it's important that it's not just like everything else out there, and this generalization. And so so the just those are some of the things that kind of formed Honeycloudz, and kind of got it going.
I love the intentionality about size inclusivity and diversity of skin tone inclusivity as well. That's I love that. So
Yeah,
thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
When you mentioned something earlier about, like, of course, the bunching of the pads, but it reminded me of shoulder pads. Like when you would get the shoulder pads and then they would just bunch up and you just discard them. Like, what was the point of this? So kind of,
Yeah.
I'm glad you came out with an alternative to all of that.
Yeah, and it's really proof too that like I really am a big believer, one person really can make a difference. Like it just takes one person to say like, no, this isn't great. Like, first of all, I don't even know who invented these, but they're terrible. It probably wasn't a woman. And but I just thought, like at the end of the day, yes, it's a lot of work, of course, to build a product and a brand and everything. But at the end of the day, I'm like, it's totally possible. Like, why is nobody, why is the why thing? Why is nobody doing this? And so, yeah, I just felt it at my core. And then I just was, decided I'm just going to go for it and figure it out and grow. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
I like the fact that the silicone is on the outside, because initially I was thinking that was the part that adheres to the breast itself, but I like that it's to adhere to the garment.
Yes. And that's important. I know, like, that's definitely something that bothers a lot of us, just having that stickiness, and also that stickiness, usually when they are like that, it rubs, either you also get the sticky goo on your garments and leaves on your residue on your breast sometimes. And then it also wears off. And I get that question a lot about Honeycloudz, and like this type of silicone, it doesn't rub off. So we have women wearing them actively in like in major sports, to everyday busy women, and even in these heavy duty sports, like they wear them over and over again, and it doesn't like rub off, or one day they don't work, or in that sense. So that's I think that's important. Yeah. And they're lightweight, so nothing heavy on you. There's no, they're not anything heavy silicone. They're super light, but yet they hold their shape. So that was important.
I know we covered a lot, but it was we were asked like what makes Honeycloudz stand apart. But I mean, you did mention a lot of things that does make it stand apart. Would you say that there's more to that, or pretty much everything that you said?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, yeah, I did cover a lot. Definitely the fact that they stay in place, both on the body, but also in the washing machine as well, which was also a major frustration of women. If you put them inside pockets of your swimsuits, or active top sports bras, anything that has that pocket liner, the typical thing that's always happened is you usually find them at the bottom of your machine, or they're just that, again, wadded up ball like in your garment. You have to go in and fix them. with Honeycloudz, because they're really good at holding their shape and there's that grip when they are inside garments and you garments you're putting in the washing machine, like when you take them out, they are almost like exactly spot on of where they should be in the garment. Sometimes with a lot of clothes, they might move slightly. It's natural, it's going to happen. But they're not, they're not, you don't have to go digging like crazy to find them, or they're going to be there. So it also eliminated that frustration. But for us, it's just extended sizing, extended, having more options for skin tones, and then the stay in place factor, especially on the exterior, is definitely what makes us different. And we're definitely more of a high quality insert as well. So these are not like the run of the mill, 3 for $12 on Amazon or whatever. These are these are high quality that women, it's one of the best compliments I get is definitely like, I love mine, they last, I wear them every day. They last, for 6 months or a year for women that are wearing them almost every day. So that as well. So they're definitely kind of in a, like, I like to say, think they're in a league of their own.
I love it. I love it when products stand out on their own too.
Yeah.
All right. Something we talked about earlier was how it's not considered nudity when like the nipple or the areola is not showing. What are your thoughts on that? This is just a random question.
Oh yeah, no, sure thing. So is the question like, what do I think about? Oh, like you mean the, like, just free the nipple movement, or just yeah.
Or like how they have the covers, just the nipple covers, or like certain artists or something might wear that, or in anything in the media you might see that and they'll show it and it's like, oh, it's okay because it's covered. But if it was just bare breast, then it's like, oh no, that's nudity.
It's like a big, it's still like this taboo thing or whatever. It's so for me, like, I think it's a personal choice, and it doesn't bother me at all. Like if I know that inserts, like there's some women that are like no, that's not for me. Like I love to show it, like I want to be natural, and this is a part of our bodies, and and I think for that's, I mean, if that's your thing, like I think it doesn't bother me at all. I think that I know, like for inserts, it's something that there's a lot of women that do like it and they want to be more modest, or they look for, our inserts are really great for balancing 2 different size breasts or oval shape. So we have there's a lot of other reasons. We have a mastectomy line coming out. So there's definitely a lot of other reasons as well, besides just the nipple coverage. But in general, I know, I always feel like I'm like, yeah, that's your thing. I think it's cool. Definitely not me. But I definitely I personally just like, I like being covered, and, just a personal preference, but I guess it doesn't bother me. I definitely know it's out there. You see both, I mean, just there's definitely like and I'm not out there to convince them to wear them at all. Zero. Like if that's your thing, that's your thing. And I got my Honeycloudz like for women that love that thing. And that, I feel like it coexists and it's all good. I don't know. It doesn't, I don't, it definitely doesn't bother me about it.
Yeah. Just getting your input on that, because like I said, it's a taboo thing. And then especially when it comes to social media, that's a whole nother thing, because it'll be the simplest or most everyday thing and you'll get flagged, and other things you see and it's like, well, wait, that's like a whole new thing right there and stuff. So it's just a question we thought about.
It's good, and it's true, it's out there, and there's a lot of different movements and different views and stuff.
So as far as who Honeycloudz is for, you mentioned for women who wear them actively, and for on other occasions, and for we talking about the different skin tones that we have. So is there anyone else that you specifically had in mind when creating Honeycloudz? And of course, all the women who had dreadful experiences before. So of course you thought about them, but
Yeah.
is there anyone else specific that you thought about when creating Honeycloudz?
Yeah. So what's interesting is when you launch a product, like sometimes, usually you kind of have in mind in who you think your customer is. And I knew generally, like, I'm like, okay, I know it's going to be like generally, women and between, like probably this age to this age. And what surprised me and what I've learned over the past 5 years is we have girls as young as 10 and 12 that their moms buy like around that age, let's say 10 to 13, and their moms purchase like the half moon style, for example, for just for nipple coverage, because it's very thin, it doesn't add any bulk, it's very thin, it's strictly just for nip coverage. And I had no idea, like I didn't even think about that when I had started it, and then my nieces started becoming about that age, and my sister's like, I think I'm gonna get these, for Ella, or and my sister-in-law, like, I think Lacey needs these. And then in the fact that because they're thin, they're not adding bulk, we have had quite like all of a sudden that kind of like opened up that kind of market in that age group. So as young as 10 and 12 for the nipple coverage factor. And then we were on The View twice, and from The View I learned as well, like just the demographics, and like we have women, so again, like of course, like 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. So we have women in their 60s to their 80s that also buy. And I just like, it was just so cool to find out. I'm like, wow, there's this huge range of women, that, and they wear them for different reasons. Like some, it's definitely like kind of a shaping thing. It's the balance factor. It's just the nipple coverage. So I have learned a lot also just from getting to know the women that, and girls like that have been buying the product. And yes, it could be someone active. They want them for sports, which my background was in developing like performance suits for Speedo and, Olympics. And then, so the performance side, I wanted to make sure the inserts work under like tougher conditions, like someone that's actually swimming in chlorine or seawater, not just, posing at the beach. And then, also just women. Yeah. Like just, I have a lot of nurses, a nurse following, that would purchase them for, being on long shifts or on 12-hour shifts. They want the coverage, etc. And so, yeah, so it's quite a big range. It's definitely not like a little segment. It's like, I like to say, so it's like 10 to 80. It's amazing. Like, yeah.
It
I
really
like
is.
how once you started, you realized that it was a market for more women than who you thought. Because I
Yeah.
wouldn't have thought about the young girls either, but of course it makes perfect sense. There's always
Yeah. When they start developing and, but yeah, I know it's been cool because you learn as you go, like a lot of things. And I learned, and I took note of that. And then the same goes for going forward. Like when I also came out with Honeycloudz in our oval shape, I found that women with mastectomies started coming out of the woodwork, and even women that had partials, and I so I started to talk to many of them, and that's how I build new product. Is I've been collecting research the last couple of years. I've been working on prototypes, and our current oval does work for some, but we are coming out with a true mastectomy specific line to also expand Honeycloudz and address those issues. And that makes me super happy as well, like to know that I could be a part of like helping women that have gone through that, like feel better, look, that don't want to wear a heavy silicone, but still want, some shaping and be able to balance out, or, and be able to be active and just feel comfortable and confident and know that you're not going to have issues with them. So that's part of the future direction of Honeycloudz as well. And again, like by learning, like talking with women, and women coming to me and saying, please, like, could you do something for us? And I'm like, absolutely. I'm like, I'm going to work on it. And I take my time because I want to make sure like it's done right and it addresses the right issues. And then I'm testing it on, a lot of the actual women that will, that have had surgeries. And so that they are testing them and to get feedback, and then I make changes, and then I get another sample out. And so yeah, so that is something that also came out by talking to you know, women on the scene, you know, being at shows, and then I get emails and stuff, and it touched me, and I was like, I'm gonna do something for that too, and I'm gonna figure it out. Yeah.
Doing great things out there. Earlier you touched on how, like, you takes one person to change the world or change something in the world, and you have this product. And I think a lot of people don't think about all the things that women go through. Your audience or your customers are 10 to 80, and like just the different phases of life that women go through. So for the younger girls, it's, not wanting to be embarrassed because of, nipples showing through clothes. That can be very embarrassing at times, but also for women who may have had surgeries and still wanting to feel beautiful, and you're still contributing to the world in that way. So that's great. Are there other ways that you've noticed how you're contributing? Because, women navigate so many different things in the world, and our breasts are just one of those conversations that go through a lot of different changes in life as well. But you found a way to support us along the way. What are some other things that you've noticed that have come your way, brought to your attention about how you're helping women?
Yeah. One of the strong, like one of the, when you're working really hard on something, and you're just like, you feel like you're running on fumes, and you're doing stuff, and I'll get this one email, along the way, like it has been from women that just, they have written me such, beautiful, thoughtful, emails and messages, just saying like, thank you for creating this product. And then they always like give me a little story about, like, a lot of times it was because they felt self-conscious, because they were so much, just because, over half of us, I think, I think it's a pretty high amount, I think it's more than that, but are two different sizes, for example. And when I started, like, talking with women and kind of exploring that more, I didn't realize it was such kind of a shy subject of sorts. Women would kind of whisper to me at somewhere, like, I'm actually two sizes. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, it's so normal. I'm like, more than half of us have it. I always wanted I wanted them to normalize it, and I just thought, over half of us, have, nothing is perfect. It's like, that's not life. And that's not, humanity. And I'm like, it's, I just said, in some women doesn't bother them. And that's also, just like I said before, that's cool. The women that, that have wrote me, like, I mean, it was like almost like made me almost tear up, but get sad, but they were just like, thank you so much. Like, I feel more confident, a lot of it's like, what we currently have, it's about we can help, it'd be a good help for like a half cup size difference. So not a huge cup size difference, but still bothersome to some. And, so those kind of emails, those things that definitely, makes you feel good, like knowing that my product, helping someone to feel more confident in whatever they're wearing, even if it's just inside their bras, like it doesn't, just in their daily life, at, a job interview or whatever, just being a busy mom, and they feel a little better, and I loved, I just thought that's awesome. Like, I want to do more of that, because I just thought that's really, it's inspiring, and it's, you just feel like that your product is doing, something that is helping someone, and everybody's different. And so in different ways. And so that's one of the things that I've learned as I'm growing, and that, how we can be more useful, and, with our products, and yeah, it keeps me going.
Good.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Can't say anything against that one.
Yeah.
Those things definitely keep us going for sure.
Yeah.
Now, I guess, so where can women find Honeycloudz?
Okay. Yeah. So we are, of course, on our website. We do a lot of our sales through just honeycloudz.com. That's a major way. We are also, we are like on a couple of larger websites, like everydayyoga.com and swimoutlet.com. And then last August, we branched out into retail, and that was a big change for Honeycloudz, and it's been awesome. And it makes me so happy because we're able to reach a lot more women that way. And we are on our website, we have a retail locator, but we are in bra fitting shops throughout the US and Canada. That's a big end use purchaser is definitely like the bra shops. We're in swimwear shops and women's boutiques. Those are kind of the bigger ones. And we started attending trade shows last August, and we've been going ever since. And so every month we're just growing, like more accounts, more women, so yeah, it's so mainly, yeah, like the like swim shops, bra shops, and women's boutiques, and online for sure. Yeah.
Well, congrats to branching out for sure. I think I saw you went to Curve as well,
Yeah.
so you were
Yeah.
able to
Curve's
get in
been
touch
great.
with a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
super
definitely.
supportive. Yeah, they're really supportive of smaller brands starting out compared to most of the shows that I've been to. Like, they stood out as like really real supportive. They did a lot of things for the smaller brands, and I see other brands kind of like coming along, and I try to encourage them, and if it makes sense for them to do Curve, and I'm like, Curve is really helpful. And yeah, so that's been great. Yeah, I love meeting the retailers as well, like and I getting their feedback. That's something else that I do. I'm probably more involved in some other brands as far as like I definitely I'm like have a researcher background from development, so I'm definitely like always like am I good or bad? Tell me it all. Like, I like to know like the feedback, of just, in general, and I collect it, and then I kind of, after a while I see if there's a common theme or not, and just take what I can from it, and yeah, and stuff. So yeah, it's been great for feedback.
Excellent. That's great.
Well, thank you for sharing your journey. I mean, it seems like it's doing really well. You're going some great places, changing a lot of lives, and it's just really inspiring to hear your journey and where you're headed. So keep up the great work.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I really enjoyed, talking with you both, and I listened to your podcast. So
Oh, thank
yeah,
you.
it's kind of cool. I'm on it now.
Yes, thank you for being
Yeah.
a part of it. There's just so many things that you can talk about with breast. We didn't think that, but within
Yeah.
all these different also solutions that are coming about, for the women, for us that are, that we deal with on a daily basis with having breasts, there are solutions out there for us. So thank you for being a part of that solution.
Yes, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Of course, happy to spread the word.
Yes, women supporting women.
Love it. Got to keep it going.
Yeah.
Sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you again for joining today, and wishing you the best of luck for sure.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks.
Of course.
So there are ways that we can safeguard ourselves from nip slips, and there's already so much that we have to worry about in our day-to-day lives, especially when we're adding breasts to the mix. So we don't want you to have to worry about that. We hope you enjoyed our guest from Honeycloudz, and be sure to check them out so that you can make sure those nips stay in order and that you don't have any wardrobe malfunctions. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, of course. You can shop merch through our website, and you can also subscribe to our Patreon as well. So be sure to give us a little look-see so you don't have a oopsie. You have it. So stay tuned as we have some more episodes to come, and tune in next week. Bye.